everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. As always, thank you for spending some time with us. 13 days out, and while top polls show the race is extremely tight and very difficult to predict, there are some undeniable trend lines in Trump's favor. Now, even as Harris has a massive money advantage, we see this from The Economist. Donald Trump takes the lead as polls swing away from Kamala Harris. Now, Harris has dropped 10 points in the survey from just a week ago, and Trump, he surged by 10 on the other side. And Harris is only up in 2 swing states, Michigan and Nevada, according to Bloomberg. Trump leads in Pennsylvania, in Wisconsin, Arizona, and North Carolina. And last night, for a moment, it seemed even Obama was feeling it.
I notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy.
Heavy? I'm not sure what heavy means. Whatever. Of course, like I said, conservatives shouldn't count their chickens. This is still anyone's race. Remember what happened in 2022. A lot of people were disappointed. But that doesn't stop Republicans from having a little fun in their minds, from dreaming of what they saw 8 years ago.
Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States. President Obama is the ex-president. And Mr. Trump, for the moment.
Can we find her? I'd like to interview her tonight, if possible. Now, as close as things are, Democrats may be running out of cards to play. The best they can hope for is that maybe they can juice the female turnout enough to overcome their deficit with other demographic groups like male voters, Hispanics, black men, and young people. And to that I say, Kamala's bad for women. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Well, none of it really seems to be sticking. They tried Trump's a dictator in waiting. They even compared him to Adolf Hitler. It didn't really work. He's going to unleash the Pentagon on us.
He is out for unchecked power. That's what he's looking for. He wants to send the military after American citizens.
The audience was like, what? None of it's landing. But they keep going negative.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged and will stop at nothing to claim unchecked power for himself.
And yet, the lower she sunk with her attacks, well, the lower she sunk in the polls. So now what? Well, now she's turning the page on joy and love to a new chapter of fear and loathing. So from now until Election Day, Kamala's crew will spend their time and a lot of money scaring and lying to women in order to increase turnout. Now, although this strategy may be your only hope, given some of the trends I mentioned earlier, it's not in the least inspiring, nor is it optimistic. It's not what we thought we were getting with Kamala Harris. It's just plain cynical. And coming from Governor Googly Eyes, it's plain comical.
Think about all of the women in your life who you love, daughters, wives, moms, cousins, your neighbors, whatever. This election is literally about their lives.
Literally. Well, the media also got their marching orders. Women be afraid. Be very afraid.
If there weren't men like Donald Trump in the world, women actually wouldn't require protection.
The difference could not be more stark relating to women's reproductive rights.
Oh, Mitch. Now, the most bizarre aspect of their supercharged fear campaign targeting women voters is Kamala's decision to involve a former congresswoman with zero following.
I was just with one of the leaders, and I think opinion leaders in the Republican Party, Liz Cheney. She is pro-life, but she also understands the pain and the tragedy that has happened since Donald Trump allowed Roe v. Wade to be overturned.
What tragedy is she talking about? And she's not an opinion leader of the Republican Party. Thank you very much. What, the tragedy of more babies being born in states like Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana? This is what the Democrat Party has become? Where the right to abort one's offspring until birth is now their central, defining, sacrosanct organizing tenet? Their dogma? But women, don't fall for it, regardless of where you are on that issue, because Harris herself is responsible for bringing the tragedy to America. economic suffering with inflation, meaning young families, young women struggle to buy homes and afford basic necessities.
The cost of groceries and gasoline and everything going so high. We live in a fairly rural area. It's the prices that get us.
I could not afford daycare. I tried applying for any kind of assistance and was denied.
Are you going to eat this week, or are you going to save money to pay rent?
It's a heartbreak. And then there's the tragedy of Kamala's open borders. Vicious, brutal crimes committed by illegals against women and girls primarily. Human trafficking, child sex trafficking. We're never going to know the actual number of victims involved, but their cries go unanswered in the Harris campaign, which is why Tim Walz's words are just not believable.
She has had one client, the people. She stood up for women and children against predators and abusers. She stood up for families and communities against transnational gangs and traffickers.
Traffickers, there we are. What a joke. The cartels and the traffickers have been one of the few growth industries under Biden and Harris. And when pressed, Kamala Harris will not apologize for the suffering that her open border has wrought.
Jocelyn Nungary, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration. Do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There's no question about that.
You know what I call that? Tragic cases. You know, the feigned, concern. That's camera-ready compassion. It's totally phony. And women voters are also mothers, and no mother wants to see her son or her daughter get needlessly killed because of an administration's incompetence. Afghanistan was another Biden-Harris tragedy. And with Liz Cheney set to be Secretary of Defense in a Harris administration, moms should prepare for more of their sons and daughters to go off to war, because that will be on the agenda. And maybe even a draft if things get really bad. And how is any of this good for women again? Women across America, none of the people you're seeing on TV, you're listening to on podcasts, really believe that Trump is dangerous. You saw Chuck Schumer hanging out at the Al Smith dinner with Trump. He thinks Trump's Hitler? I don't think so. And if Trump wins on January 20th, 2025, and he goes into the White House, well, every single member of MSNBC will be back on the air to attack him. Joe Biden will be at the inaugural, if he can find it. So will Kamala Harris. No high-profile celebrities, will be selling their belongings and moving to Europe. Liberals will not go into hiding. It is all a lie, and they know it. And smart and savvy women are too cool and too with it to fall for any of this. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.